I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me.
Good afternoon, Common Sense Conservatives. I'm coming to you today to talk to you about Obama's real agenda. I came across a video of Obama back in 1995 speaking on Harvard campus at the library. Obama speaks about his grandparents, his grandmother in particular. He calls her Took. Who calls their grandmother Took? That definitely sounds like it's something out of the hood. Doesn't sound like something out of the Midwest America. Anyway, he makes several points in his speech that I'd like to talk about. First thing I want to do, I'm going to read some of the things in the speech to you, and I'm going to give you a link to the video so that you can take a look at this video and see some of the things that I'm talking about here. Okay. This video shows the real hate and contempt Obama harbors for whites and Western governments. And he even admits how he learned early in life to disguise what he calls his fever, or more accurately, his hate for them. He is only half white, yet he chose to not only ignore this part of his heritage, but to hate and despise it. What astounds me even more is how whites listened to his open hate for them and applauded it. He embraced a man and a race who abandoned him. What Obama really was a racist time bomb creation of heirs, Soros, Saudi Arabia, and the Democrat Party to split this country along racial, religious, and social lines that the Democratic Party requires to operate. The modern-day Democrat Party cannot exist without slaves. People so possessed by anger and victimhood that their hoodwinked minds are permanently chained to ignorance and hatred that keeps them imprisoned in this mental plantation. The genius of the Democrats and Obama is that they have now enslaved the white liberals along with the plantation's permanent residents. This evil man continually waxes philosophical about being a community organizer to disguise what the term really means. A community organizer is a euphemism that really means it's putting a positive spin on what the guy really was. He was a community agitator. He's still a community agitator. His goal is to incite hatred and anger in a large, poor, and volatile section of society. This is done for political gain and was orchestrated through many, many years of careful planning and coordination between the Democrat Party, the Socialist, and the Communist Party. This evil, despotic little poof of a man ignited racism and hatred that had almost been completely extinguished in America. None of the resulting evils that was brought about existed before he magically appeared on the scene out of nowhere. Think about that. Upon his installation, I'm not going to call it an election because there was so much voter fraud and graft going on that we'll save that for another time, for another topic. But anyway, let's get back. He immediately seized upon a situation and took a hard position against our police departments. He did this without even examining the circumstances of this situation. And I think you know which situation I'm talking about. The Harvard professor who was arrested in his home for being drunk and disorderly. Anyway, I feel these are a few quotes that Obama made during that speech. I feel deeply at home in Chicago, partly because it's similar in some ways to my Kansas roots, even though I never lived in Kansas. Was anybody listening to this besides me? How could it be reminding him of Chicago when he hasn't ever even lived in Kansas? Then he says this: Chicago is a highly segregated city that creates discomfort. Not so much for me, because I work in a wide circle. I can move in a lot of different neighborhoods. So the racism and stuff in Chicago, Obama's good with that. Okay, here's another one, he says. Most black folks always have an open hand to individual whites. Where? It's certainly not him. And it's certainly not the people that he's preaching to and his followers. Here's another one. African Americans, we are a part of a hybrid culture, a biracial identity that I have to affirm. Sounds kind of reluctant to join it myself. African Americans also have to affirm. Notice how he separates himself here from the African American. And white Americans have to affirm because they take part in a hybrid culture. The truth of that matter is that American culture at the moment, what is truly American culture, is a black culture to a large degree. He actually said this. He cites Pulp Fiction and television shows to bring this point home. He lightly infers here that it is intentional on the part of the mainstream media, and more correctly, proudly points this out with a bit of bravado. Shortly after he was installed, the Allspice Man from the cologne commercials from when I was a kid, he became a black man. I saw this, and I have nothing against black people. I have nothing against any color people and stuff. But the Allspice Man being black, it just blew me away. That was intentionally done. This evil man, Obama, was brought in to this country, into our political system, with the intent of destroying us from within. Many Middle Eastern leaders have used these very lines to describe how they will defeat America in the future, from within. Common Sense Conservative signing out.
Stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the